Well, as we all know, that one of the main fulcrums of the opposition's campaign against the government is that of electoral bonds. When the Supreme Court of India declared the electoral bonds as unconstitutional, it was seen as a huge shot in the arm by the opposition parties, and they've never allowed the BJP to forget that. Well, first of all, what were the grounds on which the five-bench team of the Supreme Court declared it as unconstitutional under the CJI, that's Chandrachud? Basically, they said that this was not a level playing field. The complete non-disclosure clause, where freedom was being given to big corporates that they can give any amount of money as they want to political parties, as political funding was arbitrary in nature, and it was also open to a quid pro quo. It's also against the basic freedom of expression. It's also against the basic rights of a citizen, and also political parties could misuse this, but more than that, the corporate sector also could misuse it. And it was on those grounds that it was declared as illegal. While the BJP could not do much because they said we have to respect the judgment of the Supreme Court, they were clearly unhappy with it, making the point that the entire idea of introducing electoral bonds was to ensure that there was, one, a level playing field, and how dirty money did not enter the electoral system. The BJP has always made the point that we need to clean up the electoral system, and that start can only be made if political funding is above board, no black money enters, and there is a certain amount of transparency. So essentially, the electoral bonds became the way you could buy those electoral bonds or give that by to the political parties through the corporate sector. What the opposition parties said that was not really happening. They tried to give out statistics to show that how there was a quid pro quo, and there were also many instances where a corporate sector or a company was facing legal cases and charges of corruption, but it seemed to be getting a clean chit once they donated money to the BJP through electoral bonds. Well, the BJP also hit back by saying that if you look at the data which is available, it's not just the BJP, but DMK, Trinamool Congress, which also got a large amount of money. But the matter is now become important and significant because top government sources, as also indicated by the Finance Minister in a recent interview, is that electoral bonds may be back. Well, what I'm picking up by way of government sources is that the name may be different, but that is something which is going to be worked about on once the BJP, if it comes to power for the third time round. But the BJP will certainly not give up on the idea of cleaning up the political system by making political funding actually transparent. Of course, it doesn't want to take the risk, so it's going to have an in-depth process of discussions where other political parties, that's the opposition, will also be involved. Their opinion will be sought, they will be consulted. So in a different form, possibly, this entire idea which was conceived initially by the electoral bonds will be brought back, and there is going to be this similar process which is going to be involved. In fact, what we are also picking up is that some kind of an initial discussion has also taken place. The government has made it very clear that it never found anything wrong with the electoral bonds. But as we are noticing, the campaign of the opposition parties, of Rahul Gandhi, for example, is pinned on this, where they're accusing the government of getting this kind of a chanda in exchange for some benefits to the corporate sector. Will it work politically or not for the opposition parties? Well, that remains to be seen. But the intent of the government has already been made clear that it's going to be back in case it comes back to power for the third time.